Hey there everybody, it's Poppy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple cutscene system in Roblox Studio. So let's get started by making a new experience. Alright, there we go. And the first thing I'm going to try and do is make our cameras. There's multiple ways we could do this. We could use parts, or we could use set positions. I think using parts is nice because you could always move them around later. So we're going to do that. I'm going to keep the spawn location, and we're going to add a local script in starter GUI. Here we go. Alright. And let's make our cameras while we're at it, and I'll name this cutscene. The reason why is just that way I know. That way we all know that it's cutscene. Alright, we're going to add an apart. And I always right click it and I click on show orientation indicator, and then we're going to size it up, and we know this is the front, so when we look at it, it should look like this. Once we get it, we'll be like looking through it, you know, from that angle. So now I'm going to position it at us like this. There we go. And now I'm gonna name this cam, and we'll get to multiple cutscenes in a second. Alright, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna localize actually we should localize what this camera is. So we're gonna go local current camera, and that's game.workspace current camera, which is this, and then we're going to localize the actual cam part itself. So local cam goes alright dot cam. Alright, got that. We can localize tween service later. Alright, now these are our variables. And then we need to get the position of this camera, right? And then we need to make our camera the position, like look from the position of where the part is, pretty much. So we can do that by getting the cam C-frame. So what we're gonna do is our camera has the C-frame property, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go setting camera up. We need to first set up the camera. So what we do is current camera. Yep, see, it just autofilled it for us. Current camera.camera type, enum camera type, scriptable. That just allows us to, I'll show you. It allows us, see, we can no longer move our camera, but it's just looking from a set position, not from our part's position though. So let's set it to our part itself. So .C-frame, and then yep, man, autofill is so good these days. So basically all we're doing here is we're setting it up so the player no longer can move their camera because we want to be able to use it, and we're using scripts, these, in order to control it. And then what we're going to do here is we're not tweening the camera, but we are setting the camera's position like this. And then I'm just going to set a little print check just to make sure nothing's wrong. Camera set. Alright, let's get our output out, which it already is. Alright, see, we're looking from it. It looks good. Let's see if we can angle it like this. We might be able to go like, let's just see what happens. See, it works. Wherever we position this little front part is where it's gonna look. And this is all cool and fun and dandy and all, but we can't like get out of the cutscene So I'm having a bit of trouble figuring out which part of the camera is the front side. So I'm gonna teach you guys a little trick. We add in a decal, and it shows up right here. So I'm just gonna go into the toolbox and find some sort of black decal or something. Actually, we could just do it right here, I believe. No, we can't. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go get my decal. It looks something. Here it is. Decals. We'll just put him here. Here we go. And we'll copy this ID. Put it on this one. And we delete that, delete that, delete that, and boom, he's on there. Now we know. Oh, now we know that where we're looking from. This is nice. So now we are going to, after we do the cutscene like this, we're gonna wait a bit. So we can do wait, and then we'll do like 3. Sound good? And then we'll set the camera's position to another angle, because a lot of people like doing multiple angles. So what we'll do is we'll make another camera and we'll call this cam 2. And just so that we know, we'll name this one also cam 1. So let's get cam 1 out of, keep cam 1 where it is, and then let's move cam 2, let's say over here, like this almost. Nice. All right, now we have 2 angles of us looking at the player. And what I'm gonna do actually is create a folder, and we're gonna name this cutscenes. We're gonna name these cameras. Cameras. And now our script's not gonna work, obviously, because we haven't anchored them either. And we also haven't, you know, we haven't mentioned them that they're actually in a new folder. So let's anchor these real quick. It's another thing. All right, they're not anchored. And now we need to actually reference the camera folder. So we'll do local camera, no, we'll do local folder. Folder equals game.workspace, workspace, cameras. All right, and we have all of our folder set up. Now we have our first cam 1, and we'll do folder dot, and then we just do the same thing. Nice. And we can add more cameras later, like how it mentioned. So we'll do cam1.cframe instead, because these are variables and we're just replacing them. And now we're gonna wait, and then we can set it to something else. And there we go. And then boom, we got it. So again, we're just finding the position of where our camera is, and then we're setting it to the position of this camera. So we're gonna look from this area first, like this, at us, and then we're gonna go into this one. It'll be a different angle at us. Hopefully it works. All right, and then I'll also print second camera set, and we should be good. All right. Nice, we got a first angle. Nice, see? Now this is all cool, and we're stuck now. We're stuck. We can't get our camera back. So let's add another wait, so then we can get a look at that angle. Let's say 3 seconds again. And let's space this out a bit, like this. This is choose position, change. All right, and now we need to give the camera camera back to the player. So we need to get the current camera, and we need to set its camera type to enum camera type, and it shouldn't be custom. It should be, what is it right now? Changes, but it should be, okay, fixed. It looks like we want it to be fixed, I think. Let me just check. All right, what's this? Okay, what are we set to right now? Okay, so it's set to custom. Got it. So we can uncomment that line, and then we'll set it to custom. There we go. And then we'll print again, and we'll say, yeah, oh, player has their camera. All right, nice. This is a very basic cutscene script, and we'll polish it up later. But now we should have a working cutscene. Oh, but I can move during the cutscene. You might not want your player to be able to move, or your character to move around. And plus, it doesn't really look nice having these cameras up out here. So I'm going to get my cameras, and I'm going to make them transparent. And we don't need these decals anymore because we just needed them to position. So they're both gone now, but they're still here, but the decals are gone. And we're now going to make it so then we can't move during the script. So this is going to take a bit of extra scripting. We need to get some services, so we need players. So we'll do local. Before that, I always label your code. It's very helpful. I like commenting. It's just a double hyphen, and then you type whatever you want to comment. And we need, for this, we're gonna need players. So, and then we get the service. There we go. And then we need to get the player variables. So we're gonna need local player, and since it's the local script, we just do players.localPlayer, and that's us. So we're getting us when we're playing. Then we need our character, because we're gonna need to manipulate our walk speed so then we can't walk during the cutscene. Okay, player dot. Yep. But then you always need the or, because if we get added a bit late, this won't work. And then we need the humanoid too, which is inside of our character. All right, it's filling it in all for us. All right, we don't need the root part, but we got all that going. And now it's time to set our walk speed during the cutscene. So right now, our walk speed should be set to. Our walk speed is set to. Right now it's set to 16, right? So we can remember that. All right, and what we're gonna do is, once we change its position, right under where we change the camera type, we can go. All right, we're gonna add that check, but then I also wanna make our humanoid. This should be the very first thing that we do. That way there's no latency. So we'll do humanoid dot walk speed. Yep. And we might not want to be able to jump either. I don't think we're using jump powers, so we'll worry about jumping later. But we got walk speed set to 0. And now it's just going to be set like this. And once we give it back, we'll set this back to 16. See, we can't walk, but we can. Okay, but we can jump, right? And, alright, we can walk again, right? And we can jump. So, let's see what we're using. Alright, we're using jump height. So we gotta set our jump height. 0, not 90. And then here. Then we can change it back to 7.2. And then we should be good. See, we can't move. And then look at that. Nice. Just gonna load in. Right? We got our first one. Then we got our second one. And then we load in, right? There we go. So that's how you make a simple cutscene in Roblox Studio. I will teach you guys in a later video how to use Tween service to make your cutscenes look a lot smoother. But for right now, this is all I got for you guys, and I'll see you later.